Good morning, students. As in the previous class, we have revised the parts of speech, and today we will be revising the classification of noun, pronoun, adjectives and the adverbs. In the last class, we have discussed about the parts of speech, that there are 8 parts of speech: noun, pronoun, adjective, verb, adverb, preposition, conjunction and interjection. So how these parts of speech are further subdivided, not all but a few we will discuss today. So we will discuss about noun, pronoun, adjective and the adverb. So first we will start with the noun. So commonly the noun is divided into 4 parts. The first one is common noun. Second one is proper noun. The third one is abstract noun. And the fourth one is collective noun. So these are the 4 kinds of noun in which the various things that we talk about that they are noun are divided into further these 4 categories. Now how do we classify the noun? Common noun is the noun, means the name that is given to the common things or the things which are common to all, or the place or the thing. For example, school. If I am talking about any particular school, then that will be the proper noun, but if I am talking about the school only, it will be the common noun. For example, teacher. If you are talking about a particular teacher, that will be the proper noun. Otherwise, in common, when I am talking about the teacher, the student, the river, the mountain, the cities, means whatever the term I am using under, we can include a number of things under that title. If I am talking about school, you can give me the name of a number of schools. If I am talking about teacher, you can give me the names of a number of teachers. If I am talking about cities, there are so many cities. If I am talking about Lucknow, then that is not the common noun. But if I am saying city, that will be the common noun. Now, the next one is the proper noun. What is the proper noun? A proper noun is the name that is given to a particular person, place or thing. Okay, for example, here as I wrote school for the common noun, if I write St. Joseph, this is a name of a school, but this is the proper noun. For example, Neha. Here I have written teacher, which is the common noun, but if I am talking about a particular teacher, that will be the proper noun. It is the common noun, this one is the proper noun. So a particular name given to a place, person or thing is the proper noun. Now the abstract noun. What is meant by abstract? Abstract means the thing to which we cannot touch. So your ideas, your feelings, your expressions or qualities comes under the abstract noun, that you can feel, you can understand, but you cannot touch those things physically. For example, beauty. If someone is beautiful, you can see it, you can feel, but you cannot touch it. Anger, happiness, all these are also the nouns, but these are the abstract noun. Why are these abstract noun? Because we cannot feel or touch these things. That's why they are known as the abstract noun. Now, the next one or the last one is the collective noun. What is the collective noun? Collective noun is the name of a group of people or collection of things. That is known as the collective noun. For example, crowd. For example, bunch. Now, there may be a confusion between the common noun and the collective noun, because here also we are giving the name to a particular category. But whenever we are actually giving a particular name, that will come under the collective noun. So, what is the difference? For example, in the common noun, I can say people. If I'm talking about people, that is the common noun. It can be anyone. But when I'm saying crowd, means a number of people must be there. A bunch of number of people where so many people are there, that is known as the crowd. But when I'm talking about the people in general, it is not necessary that so many people must be present at that time, or I'm talking about 100 or 1000 people at a particular time. So, collective noun is the noun when a particular name is given to a group of people or the things. That is the collective noun. What is bunch? When you have something in a significant number, a bunch of flowers. So, here the flower. Now, see, the crowd will be made from people and suppose the bunch of flower I am talking about. So, here this people is the common noun, crowd is the collective noun. Here the flower is the common noun. I don't know which flower. If I am talking about rose, if I am talking about lily, if I am talking about lotus, then that will be the proper noun, because I am saying the name of a particular flower. But when I am talking about just flower, then that will be the common noun. And when I'm talking about the collection of those flowers, that is known as bunch, then it will be the collective noun. So don't be confused between the common noun and the collective noun. So these are the 4 types of the noun or the classification of noun. Now next we will discuss about the pronoun. For the pronoun, basically there are 7 types of pronoun. The first one is personal. Second one is possessive. Personal, possessive, reflexive. The next one is demonstrative. The fifth one is interrogative. The sixth one is relative. And the last one is pronoun of quality. Sorry. Pronoun of quantity. So now the pronoun that we have discussed in the previous class, I, you, we, they, he, his, her, all these are the pronouns. What are the pronouns? The words that are used in place of noun are known as the pronoun. So all those words which are used in place of noun are divided into these 7 categories. Now the first one is the personal. Personal pronoun when we are talking about particular person. I, we, they, he, she, all these are the personal pronouns. The next one is the possessive. What is the possessive pronoun? Which shows the possession of something. He has his book. Or I love my country. So this mine, his, her, the pronouns that shows the possession of something. Possession means the thing that belongs to you. I possess something means that thing belongs to me. So when it shows this pen is mine. So it is showing the possession that the pen belongs to me. That is why these are known as the possessive pronoun. The next one is the reflexive. What are the reflexive pronoun? Which talk about themselves. That you should do your work yourself. So you are reflecting yourself. You should complete your homework yourself. So yourself, myself, ourselves, all these are the reflexive pronoun. All of you must be aware that when we are talking about yourself or myself, we will write self, and when we will move to the plural, are we use for the plurals. So when we have to write, we will not write self, we will write selves. We have to make it plural as well. Now, the next one is demonstrative pronoun. What is demonstrative? Means when we are demonstrating something, when you are pointing out something, then that is known as the demonstrative pronoun. So, this, that, these, those, all these are known as the demonstrative pronouns. Whenever you point out something, suppose if I'm showing a pen, this chalk is mine. So I'm pointing towards this chalk. That's why this is the demonstrative pronoun. The next one is interrogative. All of you must be aware that the meaning of interrogative is whenever you are asking something. So, interrogative pronoun, the question word, what, which, whom, which, whom. Give me the book which I gave you yesterday. Give me the book which I gave you yesterday. So here, which is used for the book. About which book I'm talking? About the book which I gave you yesterday. So these are the interrogative pronoun. Or which is the book you gave me yesterday? Which is the book you returned yesterday? Anything. Wherever we are talking about the question, that will tell you the interrogative pronoun. Many other most of the interrogative words that we use comes under the category of interrogative pronouns. Now, the next one is the relative pronoun. The next relative is when it shows the relationship between the two, as we have discussed in the clauses also. When it shows the relation between the two, then it is known as the relative pronouns. However, the terms that we use to show the relation may be of demonstrative pronoun or the interrogative pronoun. So now it depends how you are using the particular term. I told you earlier as well that in English a particular word can be used in different manners. As we have learned in the part of speech, that a particular word can be used as noun as well as the verb. So here also for the relative pronoun, we can use that, who, which, as I gave you the example here in the interrogative, that is the example of actually relative. Give me the book which I gave you yesterday. So it is showing the relation. It is showing the relation. This is the boy who helped me. So, who helped me. So, here this who is showing the relation. Who is the boy? The boy who helped me. So, it is showing the relation. That is why it is the relative pronoun. And the last one is the pronoun of quantity. Much, many, few. Whenever you have an idea that it is telling you something about quantity, some, little, both, each, all these are the pronoun of quantity, from where you will not have the exact idea of quantity, but you understand that it is talking about some number or some quantity. Quantity is also in numbers. So these are known as the pronouns of quantity.